Charge that. Amazing. Video game? Yeah, but nonetheless. I'm back! Because I felt like, since it's essentially the end of the quarter for me, and I haven't seen me for a while. And with it being the holiday season, I thought it would be nice. So, yeah. Oh, so I gotta test the volume, so pause. Being the holiday season, I thought it would be nice. So, yeah. Oh, so I gotta test the volume, so it sounds good. That's the lowest I can get it. Is that the lowest I can get it? Okay, so talking. Hello, hi, pause. Talking. Hello, hi, pause. That's the lowest I can get it. That doesn't sound bad. Okay. It's number 14. It's public. Done. Save. And then we should... We're live! Wonderful. My glasses are awful. Wait, that rhymed. Oh. Shocking. You guys get to see me clean my glasses for like a minute. Oh, we wait. I don't know if we'll show up. I don't know if anyone will show up. How many people? My face doesn't look as bright as it should. Oh, that's a bit better, actually. Yeah. Hello? Anyone here? Oh, hello, comrade Noller. Oh, did you change your name? I felt like it was different before. It was like Noller something, but I don't remember you being a comrade. Hello, welcome. I'm back. How was your day? Oof. We'll wait a few more moments, because, no, as I said, I haven't live streamed in a while, so, obviously, but I felt like, you know, with it being the holiday season and all that, I should return, and I haven't live streamed for a while, and I thought it would be nice that we could all, at least I could live stream for you. Oh. John, why did you do a poo emoji? That's interesting, I suppose. But let's give it one more minute. Let's wait a minute. I hope all of you have had a wonderful day so far. I don't know what... It's like still morning for me, so I'm a bit not at it for the moment. But what we're working on for today is... Hold on, if I get everything correct. That! So, Commonwealth Games, because I recently made a video on the Commonwealth of Nations, so, and there's a sheep, and so now I thought, well, I was gonna make it right after, but then it's finals week, this week, and next week, so I've been worrying about that, but in the meantime, between those, what are you doing, John, with all your animal emojis and all that? Thank you, Frankie. It is epic, as kids might say. But no matter where we have to go on, and move on to 1998, in which who's hosting? I forget. I think it's. No, wait, it's Malaysia, isn't it? If I'm looking, I sometimes look to something that you can't see on screen, so if I'm just like staring, that's the reason why, because I have to look on Google for all the information I have down. 1998. Is Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Okay, good for them. Good for Malaysia. I have a final essay. I have like a quiz, like an exam. It's like all colleges. Excessive. I don't know if any of you go to college, but it is excessive. Well, for good reason, I would say, obviously, but still. Kuala Lumpur. So if any of you like the stream, I guess, subscribe to my channel. I changed my name, great nickname, my nickname, because not a lot of people call me that because I never really mention it a lot. And I guess, I don't know, I don't like saying like and subscribe because I find that annoying, but you know, if you want to make my what's it called? I can't think of the word. My concede. Why can't I can't remember the word. But my conceited. I'm conceited. No, I'm not. But if you want to make me feel more conceited, there you go. Then you should subscribe and like the live stream, because I don't know. I guess that's helpful. Whatever. I'm such a good live streamer, if you guys haven't noticed. Malaysia. That's not how you spell Malaysia, me. There you go. And so these, like this yellow, this blue, this red are all colors of the Commonwealth Games logo, which I can pop up right now. And I apologize if I yawn, which I just burped, but I usually yawn during these streams because they're early for me. But I don't want you guys to think I'm bored doing these because that would just seem rude. Okay, let's see. The red here, the red is the like non-participating Commonwealths, as it says. Then the yellow is the host nation, and then this blue comes from nations that withdrew from the games for political reasons. So, yeah. So I'm using the colors, and this blue color of participating nations is just the color of like the Commonwealth flag at one point, which I also used in the Commonwealth of Nations video. So yeah. Epic. Is this the Olympics? No, it's the Commonwealth Games Lego. I love Lego. I have a Lego ship right there, so obviously I love Lego and all my Legos. I don't need to explain that because we're mapping, but yeah. So if you have any more questions to ask, just put them in the chat. I'll get around to answering them, because live streams are all about audience interaction, and so because what I usually do is just talk and make videos, have a nice music in the background, hopefully. Hey there, Matt. It's really good that you find time to make a live. I will certainly enjoy this live, I'm sure. Thank you, Matt. You're too kind. No, this isn't alt history. It's just like the normal Commonwealth Games, but Lego, yes. I put this question into the Discord, but I don't think anyone answered it, because this was when I was making the making the Commonwealth of Nations video, and then I was starting to work on this video right here, the Commonwealth Games video, and I was wondering if, like, in EVW, would the Commonwealth Games be a thing, because the Commonwealth exists in EVW, but like similarly to the actual OTL Commonwealth of Nations, but I don't know if the Commonwealth Games themselves would be in existence, so that's something that you guys can help me on if you have any ideas about it. That's a nice logo. And once I upload this video, I'll have a poll out asking a certain question I want you all to answer, but that won't come out for a while. I'm hoping I can release this tomorrow. What the heck happened? But if we get good progress on this today, I had breakfast like 10 minutes before the stream, so my burps might replace my my yawning, so that's fun. Okay, hold on, I gotta count this now. Great. Is it 5? Oh, it's 10. Is that 10? That is 10. Wonderful. I'm just amazed how my quality has improved over the years. Because if you like kind of compare this to my British Empire video, which actually is like the second highest viewed video I have had, which is surprising to me. Because it's good looking, but it's like not completely accurate. But like a lot of my videos, I always of course try to accuracy, but you know, I'm pretty sure there's some failings in there somewhere. Maybe so small that no one will notice, but that thing is I will notice, but it's too late because I already uploaded the video, and I keep always changing it back, like re-uploading it because I forgot 1930 or whatever. Oh, that was actually that was embarrassing. No, but I think I didn't forget. I made 1930, but since after for the Commonwealth of Nations video that I most recently uploaded, I used that as the template for the first Commonwealth Games slide, which is 1930, and so I just didn't copy it. I just actually moved it, and so I say it's like, oh, that was weird. But let me look at the chat and all that. Lego Star Wars. Oh, gays? Yeah, I'm one of them. So yeah, if you have any other questions, that's not a question. That's like a statement. Oh, that's a word. So yeah, just like the stream. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I don't want to be rambling on all the time, because I have nothing else to say, because I don't know what to say. Is Fiji back? The Fiji is back. Oh, I had a glimpse of something. Are you going to continue the Snowy the Previous? I've been thinking about that. But like, I made like a few slides like right after I posted the first one like years ago, but I never got around to it. But with Oversimplified having his Pigwoo video, even though I was thinking about making like a short video about that, like me in person discussing it more in depth, like at some point, maybe during summer, when I could actually go over to the San Juan Islands, because I live near them, because I'm in Washington. But I don't know, I might, since like a lot of people have been asking for it, but I don't really have a date for you guys to think about, because I never have a complete schedule. I always say I always want to upload, but like I never get around to it a lot, because I am so bad with uploading and editing. I made a vlog. I don't know if you guys watch them. I always say that, but I'm pretty sure a couple of people do. Because I'm not the only one who watches, because they're both cringy, but I make them because I want to. And so, what am I doing? Okay. And so I made a vlog during summer, and on my first day, at UW, the University of Washington, and which was back in September, in like August or June, most likely August, and I still haven't gotten around to editing it, because like, I've been lazy. What the heck is Anguilla? What is Anguilla? So many islands I don't know about that are part of the Commonwealth. But wait, that's Anguilla? I thought that was the British Virgin Islands. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, ew, oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, there were still parts of the British Empire I had left out. And again, see, small unnoticeable things that I would not have the necessity to change because I left it out. See, like that. That's something that's embarrassing that I left out, but no one would have noticed unless I pointed it out. So yeah. So yeah, now I'm looking at a table that shows, and Cameroon joined the Commonwealth. How did they join the Commonwealth? It's Mozambique joined. Did they participate in these games? 1998. They participate. Well, okay, I gotta Google why on earth Mozambique and Cameroon joined the Commonwealth of Nations. Well, no, not okay. Cameroon's a bit understanding because like this part, like here, was a part of like the British Empire, but then the West was like French and German. But like, why on earth Mozambique was Portuguese and like Rwanda was Dutch and German? So I don't understand that. 73. If I do this, I'm looking because like my lamp's like right in the way of something, so because it's lighting up my face. And I did. Okay. There you go. Okay. Wait, Nigeria is suspended, so wouldn't they? Yep, okay, they're not participating. Oh, laggy. So since like the, how long? Because, well, I wanted to include the medal count, because I thought that would be interesting, but since the inception of these games, like, essentially, it's always been Australia, Canada, and England who's always been on the leaderboard, on the medal step count, whatever you want to call it. So it's like most of the time has been Australia, Canada, and England. But it's usually always between Australia and England, with Canada being third, sadly, for them at least. If you're in Australia or England, then pretty sure you're part of that. Hi Nova Niger mapping. Will you post a map with American clicks after the collapse in the American Union State and UW? I've seen that on some of your live streams, but currently I can't remember. Yeah, I made like a rough kind of thing of that. Oh, there's a cat outside my window. But hello, Maxi. There you got an N with an El Niño. But it's, I don't know if I'll make a full video about that. It's not something on my on my list of videos to do, but maybe on Discord I might pop something in. Okay. Moving on. Go to that. No, that's a bit too much. Yeah, the burps are taking over the yawning. Just so much better. There you go. Wait, no, that's not it. There you go. Oh my gosh. There you go. That's all I needed. I needed Bougainville back. No, I didn't need. Oh, great. There you go. Oh, wait, hold on. In Fiji. There you go. Fiji needs to get back in the Commonwealth of Nations. So yeah, if any of you have anyone else have any questions, just put them in the chat. I'll get around to answering them. What else? What else can I talk about? Oh, and so, hello, Palpatine. Hope you're having a nice day. It's Angula. It's not okay. Get back to what else? What's this? Cameroon. Fiji, you're back. I just put you back there. Grenada. Grenada. Always Caribbean islands always keep messing me up, honestly. Oh, who left? Hong Kong. Oh yeah, Hong Kong, because you're no longer a part of the UK, aren't you? You're with China now. Okay, Hong Kong. What is this? Kiribati! Good for you. Finally participating in the games. The Kiribati making 1998, yeah. And I don't need to change them because they remain in games for the rest of the time. I keep learning new like skills on paint.net because I finally, like when I was making the Pacific Northwest video, I found that there was an outline tool. That was helpful. So I keep knowing and figuring out new stuff on this site. Oh yeah, MCC's today. It's gonna be a fun one. I think. I don't know. All I know is that I'm gonna watch Green and his gingerbread men win, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. What is with the music? What are you doing? No. Well, let me play this, honestly.
Find the perfect song for your video.
No, I don't need
Go to artlist.io.
Artlist.io. Oh no, thank you, mercy. Okay. But will something important happen in EVW in 2022? The Cascadian federal elections happening. You got Patty Murray leading the Social Democrats, but they're kind of in a bit of a pickle given the fact that Bill Gates, who is still Prime Minister, is going through a divorce and has corruption allegations. And yeah, so the party's kind of tainted, and his popularity has dramatically declined. What else will happen? I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I don't want to spoil anything, because I could still, like, post something about it. The South Africa war is still technically going on, but there's peace negotiations, more like a civil war within the boards between nationalist forces that want to continue the war with South Africa and the war military forces that overthrew President Akamp. But the military forces are in negotiations with the UN in Geneva to finally end the conflict, but those have been stalling. I don't really think of anything else. Been trying. Germany might, may most likely finally leave the European Union because they had a vote on that last year. So it's Germany. That's like this timeline's Brexit, but it's Germany because France and Britain are largely the main powers of the European Union, which is funny. Oh, excuse me. What? Oh, what the heck? Why is that there? Why are you there? What happened? What are you doing? But I can't think of anything else. Something might happen in Russia. I don't know. No, it's not Cameroon. It's Nigeria. There you go. Thank you. What happens next? What's the status of Hong Kong and Macau and EBW? Are they part of the? They are part of the Republic of China. They were both, I would say, brought back into China at the same time as they were in our timeline. Well, they're like autonomous like cities. They're like just like Nanjing, the capital. They're like very important cities to the Republic, to the South China, because like they're major port cities, and they're definitely in the part of the democratic China in which they would hope to be in this timeline, in our own world. So yeah. Okay, Kiribati, got that, got them. Who else joined? Mozambique, I already got you. Who's not? Nigeria. St. Helena. That's this one. That's St. Helena. Because I remember, because I did it last time, and then they left. St. Helena, and they stay there. Then this is Samoa. What do you mean? Western Samoa. They said they mentioned Western Samoa. Wait, where the heck? Where the heck? Western Samoa. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. Thank goodness. I was about to say so wait, Samoa was only joined, but they're the same. They're the same. West Samoa and Samoa are the same thing. So Seychelles. Are they there? They are, okay. Seychelles, Scotland, of course, Scotland, some Samoa. Ooh, Turks and Caicos again, and Tuvalu. Then, wait, oh no. So, what did I just say? What did I just say? Turks and Caicos and Tuvalu. I gotta, like, work on my essay today. This one's Tuvalu. That one should be Tuvalu. Pretty sure it's Tuvalu. I wanna make sure though. That looks. That's Tuvalu. That is Tuvalu. Okay. See, I know what Tuvalu is. Long way, but still. That it. That's it. Okay. Any more questions? Just you guys have anything you want to ask? You can of course ask away. Because I can't think of anything. Oh, who was? Oh, what's his face? I was gonna make a election graphic for that on the alternatehistory.com thing, but I never got around to it because I kind of messed up the congressional map, and those are annoying to make. And I have a graphic kind of set up. Hold on. Oh, no. Better way. Dixie Confederacy, which is totally not on the nose. What's his face? Randy McNally won the presidency, while Kathleen Murphy won the vice presidency because Roy Moore was the vice presidential candidate under Randy McNally, and Roy Moore was like under child predator allegations and pedophile allegations, so he wasn't really the best vice presidential candidate. And so Kathleen Murphy, who was the Democratic candidate, kind of won the vice presidency. So that's a bit of a shock. But another major shock is the Republicans, which is conservatives, but not really conservative enough to want to maintain the Confederacy, won the House of Representatives, but of course the Dixie Party, which is the pro-Confederacy party, wanted one in the Senate. So there's big elections this year in November for the Confederacy, but I just never got around to it. To making a video, or not a video, a graphic on it, or map, I should say, a map graphic about it. So yeah, the Dixie Party is there to stay. Okay, so the medal count. I used the total medal count and not the gold medal count because I thought that having all medals was more important than just emphasizing the gold ones. But 99 Canada? This is sad. Long one, great. So do any of you have any holiday plans? I don't know if any of you celebrate Christmas or anything, but I hope you all have a nice holiday season. If you are religious, so will not, because it's a time for it's a time for cheer and all that, or togetherness and friendship and all that stuff. But Canada, you don't even get to the hundreds. Right. I'll just say that. You get to 99, Canada. That's a bit. It's sad. I always feel bad for Canada. At least when making this video, because they always get like 3rd or 2nd, and they're always so close, but they just don't get it. They got it once, but it's always so close, and then they never make it. But Australia, you get 199. And England, you get 136. And that's it. I filled in that. Good. Nigeria, you're not playing. What number is this? 16. What's 16? I just said 16. Leons are here. There you go. I knew they'd be here. Okay. Hello, Julio. Is Santa Claus real? I'll let you figure that out on your own. Is this Joe? Who's Joe? How are you guys doing? I'm doing good, thank you. Oh gosh, I just ripped. I have pimples. It's annoying, and I popped it most likely a while ago, and then it went bleeding and all that. What's your opinion on the 1914 Christmas? I think it's a jolly good time. See, they figured out that they were fighting for nonsensical reasons. Well, they were good reasons. Well, war is never good. Well, I felt like it was a nice. It was. I can't really. What words can be used that invoke positivity, but it's during war, so it was a positive thing to have happened. There you go. But for one moment, at least, they didn't kill each other. I am also curious about it. What are you doing? I'm making a video. You couldn't see it, I think. Yeah, I'm making a video on the Commonwealth Games. So, hope to release it tomorrow, but if you guys know me, my schedule, there's no schedule. I did a research project about Canada. Oh, that's cool. Ocean, weather, and mapping. Guys, you can. I don't know if you guys are behind, but it says right there. It says Commonwealth Games. I don't know if you guys are behind on the stream, so. Oh, it's right there. You could have read it. It says it right there. Okay, but we go on up to 2002, into which the year I was born. Okay. To the 17th Commonwealth Games. I think where they hosted. I can't remember. This is this far in. I don't remember. Is it Scotland? Or New Zealand? Roman numerals are annoying, honestly, sometimes. These Commonwealth Games were held in Manchester, and they were won by Australia. It's always embarrassing when you're the host nation, but then you don't win your own. Then you don't win the games. Oh god, what the heck is that? Manchester, England. What happened to Britain? Didn't read the lore, so confused. Why does Australia still have the jack of a long dead nation? Are you talking about EVW, Washika? Because I've been doing so much like revamping of the lore because it was so basic. Like generally, it was like generalistically. Oh my gosh, Britain and France lost the war, so they're gonna become like this timeline's fascists, which is like bellicism, but because they're angry and so they want to go back to war with Germany, but that seems a bit excessive. So I'm thinking, like someone pointed out in the Discord server, which is in the link in the description if you want to join, because it's been a bit more active than it usually is, which is a pretty good thing. But I was talking like someone mentioned that like fascism was up due to the losing the war, but it was also a response, and they came to power as a response to fears of communist takeover. And so like my revamping of the lore and all that is like what if the communists, like in socialists, take over? And so, or like have a possibility of taking over, and then the belliconists would react by actually taking over the country. And so that's what happens in France, like socialist and communist parties like win in elections, and then there's a bunch of like labor protests and stuff in the UK, and so they start to want to overthrow the king and all that and the government because they suck in a more basic sense. 10. Just do this. Nope, not yet. Oh, but like 2 more. There you go, okay. So yeah, Australia is still part of the Commonwealth. Like, they actually still have like the Queen as their leader. Stop picking at it. As their head of state. So, yeah. On my Discord server, I am the only person on the presidential ballot by That sounds like a bit of a dictatorship, doesn't it? Ocean weather and mapping. You have wait, hold, I don't have elections. But I'm president. Okay, you might yours is more of a lie, honestly. But it makes I'm president. I used to be emperor, but I put myself down to president. I used to be chancellor, then an emperor. No, I used to be emperor, then supreme chancellor, then now I'm president. So yeah. Is Superior region in the US superior to the other regions? No, I don't know. No, they're just called that for some reason that I don't know. Add mapper. No, it's often known as the upper part of the Upper Peninsula. What places were nuked in the south? Only one place was nuked. Beaufort West, which was like a supply station. Well, it was a major supply city to the front line for the South Africans and the UN coalition. So the boys nuked it, hoping that it would deter and force the surrender of the South Africans and the ceasefire with the UN coalition. But that only provoked them even more because they actually had nuclear weapons, which was the very thing the UN coalition was trying to stop them from doing, due to them breaking the Good Friday Agreement, which made it so that both the Boers and South Africa would not produce nuclear weapons, so that this very thing would not happen: war and nuclear bombing of one another. So that only provoked the UN coalition and mustered the South African forces even more, even though they kind of knew. That's Niwu. Niwu. It's south of. That's so confusing where all these islands. It's south of Samoa. Oh, it's that place. It's this thing. It's this one. Is it? Is it? It is. I'm gonna say it is because it has to be. It just has to be. There you go. It's a bit awkward, right there. But I can't really do a lot about that. New, however you pronounce that. Ocean I don't know if you understand that it's a sarcastic question. I have a Senate elections though with up to at least 3 candidates. You have elections in your Discord. Mine isn't as in depth as yours, I suppose. How Stalinist in the Russian Socialist Republic? Oh, how Stalin? Well, Stalin isn't. Speaking of Russia, I've been revamping it, so it makes more sense that the communists come to power while also having the whites kind of still exist. Because I always wanted to like have something that goes up to at least January 1st, 1936, because that's when like Hearts of Iron 4 usually starts, and then, you know, like, I want to perceive it as like, oh, you could like change if you can. There's a set lore that happens up until 1936, and then you can always change it up until then. So I always want to have like, that's always my base point. See like, oh okay, something I kind of think about. But there's this German intervention after the Tsar is killed because like he's the cousin, and they destabilize Russia, but they definitely don't want communists in power in Russia on their border. So the Germans intervene for like 3-4 years, but then with communist revolutions in France and Britain starting around that time, and Germany exhausted by like war and intervening in other countries, that they just people at home, and they even their own like communist and socialist their own communist and socialist protest happening at home, the government fearing collapse just like decides we're not going to intervene in the war, which was very helpful to the whites because they were distracting the Soviets in the West. So they were sandwiched, and so the white forces were actually doing pretty good. They weren't as bad as they were, but once the Germans went out, then the whites started to get like a bit more difficult to regain power, and so like they started getting pushed back into Siberia, and by 1936 they're like only inside like west of the Urals and like in Karelia, and most recently they lost like South Russia. So like they're like this point, but like during the start of the Second World War, they're like pushed back to here, and so like over time, by the time the belliconists take over Germany and they're at the border of Russia, the whites are gonna have like been completely defeated once and for all, which is like in 1940. So, because the belliconists definitely don't like the communists because they overthrew and started the entire civil war because the French government essentially elected what they perceived to be a communist government. So, it's an entire thing for them. So there's not really Stalinism anymore because Stalinism didn't really happen. What year did the New Kings happen? So that's not socialist anymore. Oh, not Dangus. There's no Dangists. Stop, Maxi. Stop putting N El Niñes in the chat, please. Thank you. They happened last year. Yeah, they happened last year in September. Or was it September? At some point in August, October. Is it October? I think so. Some point. I think it was last year. I can't remember. Hold on. Nigeria. I didn't just put Nigeria. Nigeria. What the heck is playing? Oh. I don't think this is this wasn't gonna get monetized anymore. Hold on, now I'm gonna find new background music. Play that. Sure. I don't need Artlist IO.io. Not now, no. Okay. Looking. That's it, okay. So no new countries joined. That's helpful for me. It actually is. Oh, now I gotta worry about the winners. Podium. There you go, the winners podium. That's what it's called. After this, I'll show you guys a couple of teasers or whatever. that I've been working on. 116. Then Australia, you were 207? I remember 207, then 165. We have reached the new millennium. Oh. And this 117. I can maybe do one more in the stream. I think I could. Most likely. Oh, okay. How many are left? Because you got 2002. 5 more. That's not a lot. And not even 4, because 2022 hasn't happened yet. So any more questions in the chat? You can put them in. I will show you. So I'm pretty sure you guys seen this up here. But yeah, this was my old World War II video. So I thought it was pretty good at the time, because like I was pretty excited. But there's like a couple of decisions that don't really make any sense. Because the lore was pretty basic back then, but I also knew that I wanted to make a World War II video. So I did. So this is what came up. Popped up. That I made. Whatever. But you can see drumroll. My the updated one that I wanted to make at some point. Don't expect it pretty soon because they're gonna take a while. I have other things to do. I want to flesh out the lore a bit more, make it more realistic, make it more in depth, make it more sensible, and all that, and not just a mishmash of things that don't really make sense. And so, like I was speaking of Russia, like still being divided by the time of the war, and like even the white forces being split up, and the Soviets being split up. So it's a bit more of a difficult. In like South Asia, it's a bit more difficult. In China, it's all more difficult. The civil war is still going on. But the communists still have a bit of control here, but they're definitely not as good as the Federalist forces, which are all this blunt. But under MacArthur, then you got the Pacific States. Then I was also redoing US lore, and like MacArthur actually being like actually American Caesar, and holding on to power. So protests happened, and so like race riots and ideological riots happening about communism, socialism, and bellicism and racism. And so like America is definitely not a good time in the 40s and the 50s. And I had thought that, but let's see, Middle Africa is interesting in Kaiserreich, but I don't think it will be interesting. I don't think it's feasible in like the real world. Like, you're not gonna control all of Africa from one colonial government. Because, like, that's not what the British did. I don't think the Germans would do this either. Because, like, you still got South, and, like, the former British colonies are, like, more controlled by the German government, so that's why they're the, like, German color, while all these are, like, the puppet government colors. But they're, like, more major colonial governments, just like Southeast Asia is, and, like, the Qing in Manchuria and Transmoor under Kolchak. Because, like, the infighting is between... Kolchak was the original supreme leader, but then he decided to side with the Japanese in order to gain their support, but they had to give up Russian claims of Sakhalin and the Kuril Islands, and recognize Japanese dominance in Manchuria. But the other leaders, like Kornilov and Savinkov, and whoever's president of the Novosibirsk government, which the Novosibirsk government is the more democratic government, the most democratic government in all of Russia, because they have like elections and stuff, but they're one of the weakest governments, the weakest powers, because Kornilov Savinkov is like the main military leader, while Kornilov is like another military leader who overthrew um Kolchak, and so like that's why he gets like most of the navy over here because he's an admiral. So like he was based in Vladivostok, then Kornilov like ousted him, and so it took over the west of this land. So like, but then Lev Kamenev, who took over from Trotsky. I think this is like my thinking is that Trotsky takes over from Lenin, who was would still die. So, but then because like due to his good fighting with the Germans and holding them back, he's like very more liked than Stalin. And so then at some point Stalin is killed. Actually, I don't know. I need some way to get rid of Stalin. He either goes back to Georgia or something, or is like getting out of favor with Lenin. And so like but in the end Trotsky takes over, but then he's like killed during. It all depends. I don't know when does Lenin die. I don't know. I just know that Trotsky takes over maybe, but then he dies at some point, and so it's like Kamenev takes over. And I don't know a lot about his ideology, but like he's more sensible. He's less authoritarian, like more worker oriented, and so like the workers' unions and Soviets have more power. But then Tukhachevsky like leads the Russian forces in the Ural military district, because they're fighting still with the whites. In Kazakhstan, like gets incorporated in the Turkestan. It's like all divided, but there's like a Turkestani government that wants to become communist. Or there's a more democratic one down here. Like there's like the more ethnic groups that are just more independent and want to be dealt with any of that. And then Azerbaijan, for some reason, at some point gets communist government. But then there's like white forces here in Karelia and in South Russia, which were the first ones to be taken out, so they could focus on the whites over here. So it's all a bit. So this is more. It's the Russian Civil War, but it's also known as the Russian Warlord period. Just like how China has a warlord period, because it's definitely warlords, because you got all these different like cliques, whether they're communist or not democratic, but like Republican, non-communist governments. It's like it's a battle struggle, power struggle between the two, the whites and the red forces. So then India is a bit more divided than it was before. I'd had to think about the lore a bit, because like Belacism, Rising, it's like they're more communists, but then they're more of a communist group. But they become more democratic, but then nationalistic under Bose, whatever how you put Sandra Bose, whatever you pronounce his name. And that's why the princes rise up in the south, because they don't like communism, obviously. But then the Dominion is able to maintain control, and they flee to Bombay. That's why they kind of have this. But then they're able to maintain control around New Delhi. But then Punjab and Balochistan, and then like this area is Pakistan, but then they get gobbled up after they help Afghanistan try to invade Punjab and Balochistan. But then the Dominion of India supports Punjab and Balochistan, and so they push Afghanistan back, and then Jammu Kashmir is just there. They also changed the borders of the Middle East, so it's more aligned with like the Ottoman Empire borders, so it's less straight liney and more curvy. Not a lot of stuff changed. I was copying Kaiserreich so much that I made Central America one country. Then I don't want that to be a thing. But again, Central America's. Sorry, boring. Just like South America. But I think Chile would be on the Entente side, as well as the Union Rio de la Plata and Ecuador, because Peru would invade Ecuador and Chile, and Bolivia would want to invade Chile because they want sea access, and Brazil, nationalistic as it is, so they would want to take revenge on Rio de la Plata, while Venezuela would, I don't know, maybe still invade Guyana because they want the Western Guyana. And I don't know about Colombia. These two, they might want to invade Panama. I don't know. I don't know. Mexico, they're always unstable. So yeah, that's it. That's roughly that. There's other minor changes, but and I also have like things that are like very important information stuff that will pop up down here because I always thought that would be interesting to have, and I couldn't figure out a name for like the German group, like the German. I could call it Middle Europa, but that's just boring and cliche. I was gonna name it the Central Powers because like it makes sense. They were the central. It's still gonna be Germany, Austria, Italy, and Bulgaria, without the Ottomans because the Ottomans are overthrown and now they're like the Turkish state or whatever, like bellicist, and they just want land back because they've lost it to them, to like the Arabs in Iran and Bulgaria and Armenia. So they would want to take their land back. So they would join the bellicists. So it's going to be Germany, Austria, Italy, and Bulgaria against the French and the British, the bellicist French and the British. I've been thinking that Spain becomes communist, and so they stay out of the war mostly. And so France would invade, Republican France would invade Catalonia as a distraction. And so that's when Spain would want to join because they wanted to retake Catalonia, but they knew no, since they've been devastated by a civil war, they would lose to the French, bellicist French. But even after the war, Republican France maintains control over Catalonia. So it's a bit of a thing. That's an explanation. Joe. Nigeria's back. Need to go for a little bit. Okay. Those conservative don't have any support from the population because we made Canada great again, not Bernie Sanders and probably meeting with his party. Yeah, he's been in power since how 2013, and there's elections in 2023 because they have a 5-year system instead of a 4-year system, electoral cycle. So yeah, I don't think. But Bernie is well liked. That's why he won. What? Oh, the Canadian elections should be an interesting thing because they're still the global superpower, but like they're still obviously Canada even with New England, and they're definitely no match for OTL America as the main democratic. That's why they had to work so much with the UK and France. That's why the Atlantic Triumvirate was the thing because they were the three main global democratic powers, and they had to work together. So like, it's a triumvirate. They have to work together to stop the Soviet Union. And it's all about French manpower, British manufacturing, and Canadian intelligence, or something like that. Because Canada is like was really focused on technology. It's because they needed some way to counter the Soviets and their manpower and the Russians and all that, so technology was going to be the way that they could do it, so they invested largely in technology. So they were able to, they were first in space through I made it so that they had ownership of the Bahamas, and so that's where their like launch site is for like spacecraft. And so there they would go out and launch their rockets and all that. They weren't able to land on the moon first because the Soviets did that in like the 70s, in like 1970, then Canada. But then afterwards they still kept having a space race because Canada needed to develop their technological systems in order to at least counterbalance the Russians. So it's all about technology for Canada, while it's Russia, it's like something else. I don't know. It's still about technology too, but Canada was the main focus of that. While Britain and France maintained European affairs, Canada looked at globally, given the fact that they didn't want Britain and France looking like imperialist nations again. Yeah, if you have any other questions, spread them in the chat. I think we're nearing the end here. It's been an hour. I could do one more thing, but I got a lot to do today. Oh, and I cannot procrastinate. I cannot. So any last questions in the chat? I'll be happy to answer them. Anything you want me to discuss about EVW, whatever. Oh no, there you go. I named the German alliance the Allied Powers because I couldn't think of anything. If you guys have a better name than that, you could put it. You could mention that somewhere. Because like I named the Bellikists originally the Bellicist Internationale, but now it makes more sense just call them the Bellicist Powers because Internationale devotes communism, and the Bellicists definitely aren't communist. They definitely don't want to be communist. So calling them Bellicist Powers makes sense. Then it makes sense to have the Germans the Allied Powers, because they were allied with the Austrians, the Italians, and the Bulgarians against the French, the Bellicist French, and the Republican British. And calling them the Axis powers is a bit not right. Even though it would make sense, because like Germany, Austria, Italy, and Bulgaria were part of the Axis powers, including Romania and Hungary. Well, Austria was a Germany, so a bit difficult. I really like the China law. It's a bit more in depth because you got Qing China, then you got the Empire of China, which is like under Yuan Shikai, but then he dies, so it's under his son, and it's all just a bunch of warlords who want to maintain control under a figurehead of a leader, so they can be better united. Then you got the Kuomintang down here, which are disunited themselves under like actual Kuomintang government. Then you got like more independent Guangxi clique, and then Yunnan clique, and then the Sichuan clique, more independent from this government. I don't know who the leader is. Could be Song Xinlin, but I think it's more Chiang Kai. No, I feel like Chiang Kai-shek would have died. So Song Xinlin would have maintained control, and then she would have been part of the left KMT. But then with the Civil War starting to brew, the military leaders might have overthrown her and maintained the one-party military state. I don't know, maybe. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I think we'll end it here. I hope you all... Hold on. Transition. I hope you all have had a wonderful time. I do this... Well, I'll be on winter break this week, next week, and like until the end of the year, so... I don't know, I might be back to every week, every Saturday. I'll do live streams, but who knows? It's nice that you call German Alliance Allied Powers, because this makes sense. And it's not boring, unlike the likes. Yeah, I didn't want to be... This obviously, the timeline's obviously super inspired by Kaiserreich, but I've always been trying to keep it away from that, even though there's going to be that comparison, and it makes sense. But I didn't want to copy it so much to call it the Rex Pact. But yeah. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone who joined. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.